Okay, so we're at Metro, actually Macro here in Poland, and we want to buy a whole ton of rice and buckwheat and some oatmeal and other stuff like that. And when we were in Hungary, they didn't want to use a pallet moving machine for us, so we had to load all this stuff manually by hand. But here in Poland, it looks like they might allow us to actually use this machine to get a whole load of buckwheat right here. And so this pallet of rice right here is about 500 bucks. It's approximately $1 per kilogram. It's 500 kilograms. The idea is that they can make a drop box kind of that they can take to individual families out in villages or people that are hiding in basements. We're getting some things that are bulk, like the rice, and then some things that are individual, like the buckwheat here. I don't know if they'll load it all the way into our van for us, but I'm glad they're at least helping us out this far. This is 4 by 6, which is 24. And then there's 6 per thing, so 6 times 24. Which is 144, and then it's 6 tall times 6, so that's 864 packages of stuff here. The top row actually appears to be oatmeal. So 864 times, it was 6.64 zloty per thing, which is 5,736. That is 1,350 US dollars for this pallet right here. That pallet of Snicker bars right there. Snickers is the best in terms of price per kilogram. And it's also the best in terms of number of calories per bar. Actually, Bounty is cheaper in terms of price per bar, but you don't get nearly as many calories. I think we might go for the Snickers bar right here. A whole one of these things, which has 18 packs of 5, is $25. That's a 3 by 3 up there. My calculated total was $1,600 for that pallet. So we'll do some more thinking and see what else we need to buy. Maybe we don't need that many, because that's a lot of Snickers bars. Okay, so Oksana found some chopped pork here, which looks pretty good. And also chicken pashtet, which is like ground up, yeah, pate. That's probably enough.
I think it's okay.
Okay. This is all rice, and this is all buckwheat. So basically we're talking with our friends now who are distributing this stuff to people further in Ukraine, and they say there's a few different groups of people who we're trying to address here. One group is the soldiers that are on the front lines. The request for them was the Snickers bars so that they can have something like when they're out that's just ready to go, quick carbs. The second was there are some people who are stuck in basements and they do not have the ability to cook for themselves. The things that we will try to get them will be things that they can just pop open and eat. So for example, corn, peas, those peaches, stuff like that, that's conservatives in a can. Our third group of people is the older people who are stuck and were left behind and are not able to feed themselves, but there's someone there and they're cooking for like mass amounts of people. So that's where the large amounts of rice, large amounts of oatmeal and buckwheat comes in, that kind of stuff where they can just put it in a huge pot, just make tons of it. So we're just asking our friends, you know, what else should we get based on what we already have? So the question here is, can we get tax-free documents? So Europe, in some places, adds a VAT tax, actually basically everywhere. And then some countries allow you to get this tax money back when you cross the border if you prove that you were exporting this stuff, which we're gonna do. How do you make this document, and how long does it take them to make this document? And then do we have to cross the Polish border rather than the Slovakian or Hungarian? So we're trying to figure out all these questions.
Bo ja już tutaj, idę do domu. Rozumiem, rozumiem. Ale można by tam na 6. Na 6, to na 6.
Ten float, co ma Bernatka, to jest czyj?
Ten tak, żeby było nie mieszane, tylko tak jak na przykład jest kukurydza, to kukurydza.
They cannot do this tax-free document at Casa number 1, checkout number 1 right here. But at 9 a.m. tomorrow, there will be a lady there who can do it. And so they said, why don't you just leave all your stuff right here, leave it there overnight, come back in the morning, you check out, we'll make this document for you really quickly, and then you'll be good to go. We said, sweet. The only other thing we need is a pallet of Snickers. There it is. They're gonna move that pallet of Snickers for us up to the front up here as well. And then we'll come back in the morning. Hopefully it'll all be smooth as butter. So we came here, they had already counted up everything for us, which is great. It was 19,370.74 Polish zloty, which is like $4,500. And thankfully my card worked. I had to increase the limit, but it worked. Now she's printing out this tax-free document and we'll go from there. They went through and they put little papers in here of how many of each type of thing that we got. Very nice of them that they had pre-organized that. So now it's just a matter of loading up all of this, and this into our giant van.
You know they're getting a good side with that photo, right?
I don't have a good side, so I feel that.
Let's just leave it as is. Start passing more rice down.
Does this count as airmailing the Snickers? We also have a lot more butterflies. Tap right here. And I'm unrolling my sleeping bag and going to bed.
Good, good.
Can we get 50 of these boxes? Can we do 30?
No,
No, 20. Okay, thank you.
And I can buy.
Okay, perfect.
She stole my seat.
Yeah, she did. Bought a bunch of bags, and these can be filled with sand. How many total bags did you buy? 283 bags. Not bad.
It's 466 bucks.
$466 in bags. Cool. Okay, so we have 4 people actually, and Oksana was riding in the back. We stopped at this rest stop, and they have some nice picnic areas here. I believe they have a shower in here. Yeah, here it is. That you can have a public shower for free, actually, at the rest stop. So, pretty nice here in Poland.
Yep.
Good to go.
We're good. Okay. See you soon.
We are now 4 minutes from the border. So we crossed through the border in probably about an hour, which is pretty good. Now we're gonna head about 3.5 hours further south onto Mukachevo. This is a section of road where we can only go about 10 kilometers an hour. So we got in late last night, around 1 a.m. and then 5 or 6 a.m. Another crew with a different vehicle loaded up all the stuff from this one, put it in that one, took it further deeper into eastern Ukraine, so the turnaround time was quite good. Now we're driving back to the Polish border because some other Americans are taking some stuff from Krakow all the way to the border, and then we'll meet them there on that side, and we'll come back here and bring that stuff to this base as well. So we'll have 2 trips in a 48-hour period, which is pretty efficient.
We can send them back.
Okay, so we crossed back from Ukraine into Poland. The border is just right down there around the corner. And when I was at the border crossing over, I saw this guy that I recognized. I was crossing the border with his wife and kid, and I hadn't seen them in, like, I don't know, more than 5 years or something. And so it turns out that he actually is Russian and has a Russian passport, but he's been living in Ukraine for the past 20 years. After he married his Ukrainian wife, he was able to get a residency permit so that he could live here, but they've grabbed him at the border here for a few hours and they haven't let him go yet. And he said as soon as he gets into that side, he's going to the Ukrainian embassy and try to get a Ukrainian passport. And then he said he would happily burn his passport, you know, in front of the Russian embassy. And what are you guys eating over here?
I'm not eating anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
You gotta live off of something, right? No breakfast, no lunch? You tell her. So I can tell by the license plate here, the first 2 letters indicate where the license plate was issued. So this car is from Kharkiv, which is in eastern Ukraine. And Kharkiv was under heavy, heavy shelling and still is to this day. And the back of this car, as you can see, was totally destroyed. The people who left this car here just wanted to escape Kharkiv. But unfortunately, we even have friends near Kiev whose car was destroyed and they're not able to leave.
Steal a coffee machine. because you gotta make people happy.
Hey, we're starting to look pretty full. So we just made it back across the Polish border after picking up all the stuff, so now we have a full load. And we started making some friends with the border guards there on the Ukrainian side. So last time we were there, we had all those boxes of Snickers, and so we decided to leave them a box. And the way that we did that was we just put it in a black plastic bag and then left it somewhere. And actually, we were there just now, I don't know, 16 hours ago or something. We said, oh, did you guys finish all those Snickers? They said, oh yeah, we finished those a long time ago. And so hopefully we're just making connections and getting stuff done. Oksana's driving. Good job, Oksana.
She hasn't hit any potholes in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, but she's hit a lot overall though. Unloading. We saw a souvenir place on the way, so I decided to stop and maybe try to support the local business here. What'd you get, Oksana?
Socks.
Socks. Not bad. A stork has built a nest on the roof right there, and right over here, this trunk is about to fall off. It's being held up by a cord. So we were driving back to the Polish border, and we just figured we'd stop and see at least something. We saw this nice church here, and we see that actually it's a Polish church, based on this being in Polish. Maybe these ladies here can tell us something. Oh, gruta.
Ходіть, бо я спішу.
Come on in, she says.
О, то є найстарша каплиця Святої Анни, каплиця. А по якому ви перекладаєте?
Англійською.
Так, добре. І
Can I come in here? Where's it? This door. Oh, nice thick door. Heavy door, I mean. You can see up there where the fire was. Ooh, stairs. I'll ask her if we can go up them. Oksana, can you ask if I can go up the stairs? Yeah, cool. Yeah. It goes up higher. Hopefully this will hold. Turn my brightness up here. Very cool. I can't quite reach all the way. Maybe this one. Oh, not quite. The walls are too thick. I can't sink my camera all the way through. Arm's not long enough. Pretty cool. You don't often get an experience like that where you can just walk up to the local village and ask the ladies to show you, you know, up in the roof up there where I just was. Oh, they have more stairs to go up there too.
Yeah, I think that leads up to the balcony.
So one of my favorite things about Ukraine before the war is you can just go to a really cool place like this. You know, go inside and just see something that not a lot of tourists make it out this far. Ukraine just has a lot of really cool things that very few people come out and see. It almost feels kind of like undiscovered Europe in many ways. And when the war ends, I'm gonna keep exploring Ukraine. I've been here for 10 years, but there's still so much more to see. I wonder if we can climb up the bell tower here. See, there's some stairs. I don't see the ladies watching, so I better ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Whoops, board started moving. Yeah,
So he's
this
saying
connection,
like he notched the wood in right there.
it's really cool.
They notched it all the way up.
Up there too. This is the wooden piece that held the bell.
Because it's one in the magazine, then 6 more. That's a combat load. So
this American lady just brought stuff, and there's how many here?
50-ish.
Like 50-ish magazine holders, which they can attach to their vest, which is pretty cool. Good job, guys. We fit all the rice and buckwheat that we got in, and our load was too heavy, and we made it through Ukraine, but we had to just drive very carefully. We could barely make it up some hills. This place here, they had a bunch of stuff storage in their first floor, stored it for us, so we just picked it up. And they conveniently wrapped it for us, actually, so it'll be easier to distribute. And then we'll pack up the stuff that this American lady brought. And then tomorrow in Warsaw, another person is bringing some stuff from the US, a bunch of suitcases. So then we'll load all those up and then we'll do a trip into Ukraine.